welcome back to HGTV Handmade. As you probably know by now, the other handmade ladies and I were all inspired to create projects based on paper towns, which was a really great read, and the movie is coming out later this summer, so I'm very excited for that. But right now I want to share with you a piece of wall art that I created inspired by one of my favorite quotes in the whole novel, which was, "The town was paper, but the memories were not." I just think that quote sums up the entire story so well, so let's get started with the project.
For this project, you will need a rectangular picture frame, newspaper, glittery cardstock, glue and double-sided tape, scissors, a pencil, and a sheet of letter stickers. First, trace the buildings onto a sheet of newspaper. I'm using a marker here so that you can see what I'm doing on camera, but you'll actually want to use a pencil so that your buildings don't have black edges. I'm switching up the heights and the shapes of my buildings as I go, and I'm also making sure to only make buildings out of text, not pictures. This isn't essential, but I think that it makes the final piece of art look much more cohesive. Once you have several buildings, cut them out. Again, I'm cutting off any pieces that don't have text. This is the picture frame backing. I'm using it to determine how much cardstock I'll need for the background. I used 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. There's a lot of overlap, but these lines will be hidden by the end of the project. Just glue all 4 pieces of cardstock together. I'm not gluing these down to the picture frame backing. Now it's time to lay down all of the buildings. I tried to alternate between different heights and shapes, and as you can see, I'm using the buildings to cover up that weird line where the 2 pieces of cardstock meet. I started with 10 buildings, but this left a little gap at the end, so I replaced one of them with a slightly wider building. Once you're happy with your cityscape, it's time to attach it to the cardstock, and for this I used double-sided tape. Please do not use glue for this part. It'll bleed right through and you won't like the result. The double-sided tape is not ideal for attaching the newspaper to glitter cardstock, but because we're going to place glass on top of this later, everything will be held in securely. It's also good because it allows you to reposition any buildings if necessary. I had to use glue for the spire on top of this building because it was too thin for double-sided tape. At this point, I placed the frame on top without the glass, just so that I could see my borders for this next step, which is placing the letters. You don't want to place the letters so close to the edge that they get covered. You also want to use a ruler to act as a guide. The quote I'm using is, "The town was paper, but the memories were not." I'm using white letters for the majority of the quote and silver letters for the word memories because I want that to stand out. The sticker sheet even came with quotation marks, so I'm using those as well. I kept changing my mind about the placement of the letters, so I actually changed the first part of the quote so that the left and right sides were both on 2 lines. I also decided to add star stickers. Now press the glass to the wall art. I had to adjust one of the buildings at the last minute, but after this I flipped the wall art over and placed it into the frame. My least favorite part is bending these prongs back into place, but that's the final step. And that's all there is to it.
Have you guys read Paper Towns? Are you gonna go see the movie? Let me know in a comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye guys!